Baseball family, this week we are going to talk about lockout updates, of course, spring training hats, and 25 under outfielders right now. 9 Plus Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Welcome back, baseball family, to another episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I'm Brig, and per the useness, I got the Brad man here with me. Blackjack Brad, how are you?
I'm doing well, Brig. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Breaking Bad is the newest thing in Brad's life, and I just want to call you Breaking Brad so bad.
I'm a little shaken by it, I'll be honest. I've never watched it because I worked in pharmacy for a while, and every time I'd tell somebody a decongestant, they'd say, I do the spiel, you're signing this saying you're not going to make meth, and every single time, Brig, without fail, every person, have you watched Breaking Bad? Have you watched? No, I haven't. To the point, it's like, have you? Nope, I haven't watched. Haven't watched Breaking Bad. I haven't seen it. And so for a long time, I had absolutely zero interest. Until recently, I was like, it's on Netflix. Let's give it a try.
Bro, it is exquisite storytelling. Okay.
Anyway. Okay. Let's get into
Moving right along. Baseball family, as we said, we have got more lockout updates to tell you about. And Brad and I have a prediction. We think that this might have to be re-recorded in a few hours just to cover our bases, because who knows what's going to happen?
We could only be so lucky, let's be honest. And I'll be fine if we have to re-record tomorrow or Wednesday.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anytime this week, I will be ecstatic to re-record.
We will bring you the newest, latest, and greatest. We are this close. Today, we are recording on February 28th. It is 2:30 in the afternoon Eastern time. We do not know what is going to happen with this season. Today is the deadline. So we're going to see. But we know a few things that right now are for sure. First, the MLB proposed extended postseason yesterday, right? The eve of the deadline. So, Brad, do you want to tell us a little bit about your thoughts and feelings on you sent me this thing about ghost wins. Mm-hmm. What would you, first of all, lay it out for everybody, and then we can talk about it.
Okay. So this is the thing, is that the players want to incentivize winning your division, which is what it's all about, right? We all want our team to win the division. Like, personally, I'm like, just freaking get in, right? Yeah. But what they want is they want to make it so the playing field is not so level for the teams that don't win the division, because with expanded playoffs, you're going to have a bunch of teams getting in, right? As everything goes right now, you've got 3 division winners. And if you're going to have even a 12-team format, that is 3 division winners getting in, and you've got to incentivize those winners. So what they were talking about was awarding the division winners a ghost win. Now, it's interesting, I'll be honest with you. And for those of you who don't know what a ghost win is basically, say they're playing a 5-game series, and it's the Astros and the Rays playing. The Astros are the 1 seed. The Rays are a wild card getting in. The Astros would start the series 1-0 in a best of 5. So really they only play 4 games. But so the Astros would need to win 2 games. The Rays would need to win 3. It's an interesting setup, and it's something that if anybody who grew up playing in tournaments, I know for sure in baseball tournaments, this is something that you're familiar with, because you've got the bracket, right? It splits winners, losers, top, bottom, whatever, however you want to do it. And then you get to the championship game, and you can't take down the winner, the team from the winning bracket, with 1 win. The winner basically goes in with a ghost win. This is honestly the first time I've ever heard of it referred to as a ghost win.
Yeah, me too.
And then you've got the losing team would come and has to win 2 games. Okay, so that's what they're proposing. Now, first off, I was like, okay, interesting. And it does really present like an opportunity and an advantage for that higher seed, right? Because there are pitching implications. To win 2 games is a whole lot less daunting than it is to win 3 against a single team.
Especially with pitching.
Yes, but on the
That's
other
where it'll
hand,
be
though,
really the
and
money will be made.
that's only going forward, though. On the other hand, like in the current series, all's even with pitching, so it's not an incredible advantage as opposed to like you only need 2 really good starters as opposed to 3. So I don't know. I'm not sure that it creates an enormous advantage, but there is somewhat of an incentive to go into a series up 1 before you even start. Right?
To me, it feels like a cheap incentive almost.
Yeah.
Like it's a half incentive or something. I'm not in love with the idea. I don't
I'm
all the
not.
way hate it, but I would, if you told me right now, Brig, how do you feel about it? I'd say, give me something different.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That I was at first I was kind of like, okay, it's interesting, but the more I thought about it, I was like, I don't really love. I'd rather have my team have a bye. But on the other hand, the players don't love buys. They're
No,
trying to avoid buys
right.
because they're creatures of habit.
Well, and not only that, so here's my question. Do you like the expanded playoff formats? Do you like 12 or even 14 team playoffs?
I do just because I want to see more playoff baseball. You know, the argument is that it cheapens the regular season. That there's no, like you said, no incentive to win the division if you can get in as the third best team in the division. But there is still an advantage to going in as a higher seeded team. You can't. It's not like you can just throw out the seeding when you get there. Like
No, you can't do that.
there's somewhat of an advantage. There's something to be said for playing at your home field
Yeah.
and coming in as the division winner. You know, so
Right.
I don't know. And it's not like teams can tank and get into the playoffs.
No doubt.
Regardless, I mean, how do you? I mean, you don't love expanded playoffs, right?
Nope. Nope, I don't. I think if you want to give me 12 team playoffs, give me 2 expansion teams. Oh yeah, I fit it in again.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. There's a lot of sentiment with that, and I think it would work best if you had, because then you'd have to have 4 divisions.
Bingo, old school.
Yeah, because then you've got
Back
4
to pennant
division winners and 2
races.
wild cards, and it all
Back to
works out.
pennant races. That's what I want, Brad.
I know.
Ugh, it's just not gonna happen with
popped.
this thing. Stupid. Anyway, I am against a 14 team playoff. I think that's ridiculous.
That's a
It
lot.
seems like it's a money grab. It's logistically awkward, and it honestly, it just feels cheap. It just feels cheap. And if somebody comes all the way from the bottom, I don't know. You can't help but question it from zero. It's exciting.
Yeah,
It sells tickets. It's great
does.
for club
It gets-
longevity and nostalgia and all that, but
it gets views too
it gets views.
because people are
I
going to
know,
watch
and
the playoffs.
that's the problem. I mean, I
So.
can't believe I just said that. That's the problem, is that baseball's being watched. Like, who am I? But at the same time, it just feels like we're back to all about money, which I know it is. Woof,
So
Brad.
speaking of money, I have to talk about this for just a second.
Okay, do it.
So I was watching Dan Patrick this morning. I was getting some stuff done, and I was watching Dan Patrick, and Jeff Passan was on, and he brought up
Excuse
something.
me, it's Jeff Passan.
It's like, did you ever watch Corky Romano, that movie with Chris Kattan?
Yes,
It's Passant. It's French.
Passant.
But anyway, so he had an article come out today on ESPN.com. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to get on and read it later because I have to after what he said. He said MLB is a zero-sum operation. That the league brings in all its money.
Yeah.
It pays the players, and what's left goes to the owners. And what they do with it is entirely up to them. They can pocket it. They can put it towards stadium renovations. They can pay their front office. They can pay their vendors. They can pay their ticket takers. They can pay whoever they want, however they want, with all that leftover money. And for them to say, we're paying our players too much is downright freaking ridiculous.
Yep. Makes me so mad.
But the other thing too, though, is that like I've been saying this for years, though, is like if you don't want to pay them that much, don't
pay them that much. Yeah.
Don't give them the big deal. Like, don't give them the big contract. You're the one who's doing it. Market value is what's set by the buyer. Okay. Anyway, Rob Manfred.
I was just going to say a now message from our sponsors, but you said Rob Manfred.
So Rob Manfred says he's not surprised by the deadline breach, that it doesn't feel like there's going to be a deal done by today. And honestly, like,
neither are we.
Is
Rob.
anybody else?
Hello.
To reach a deal, you have to work. You have to put in the effort.
You gotta show up to the table, homie. Like, hello.
More than a handful of times. And the fact that he didn't even show up till what, Thursday last week?
Come on. Dude is like, it's just not gonna happen, man. And I'm the victim here. Like, I just can't believe we haven't been able to reach a deal. Well, you don't show up to work, bro.
You know what he
mad
said?
At him.
You know what he said at the beginning of the lockout too? Like, aside from the letter, like, we've addressed the letter to the fans, blah, all that. But he's also said missing games would be devastating to the sport.
He did. I know.
He did. And it's like, dude, it's your fault. It is your fault that you're going to miss games.
You know what else he said? He said games will not be made up because, quote, a deadline is a deadline. Now, holy crap. Okay, this is what that did to me. I was like, well, yeah. So if Rob doesn't get his way, then he's not going to play. And if we aren't going to play his way, nobody gets to play. Not the kids. We're not going to let the kids play. After all that marketing effort that we said about let the kids play, because if we don't play with his pink ball in his way, with his rules on his field, then it's not going to work.
Now, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. So they're not going to make up games. They're just going to pick up where the schedule picks up, right? So if it's May 3rd, whatever games are scheduled to play May 3rd, if it's like the third game of a 3-game series for everybody, that's where they're going to play, and then they're going to go from there.
Yeah.
Now, this is a kind of a thought that I had along those lines, that remember back in 2020 when they reached a deal for games, like the number of games they were going to play, they decided on 60.
It was always going to be 60, Brad.
It was always going to be 60. Yeah. Exactly. From the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
the owners and Manfred balked and balked and balked and balked. Now, I wonder if they have a number in mind. They're like, we're going to punish these players and we're only going to give them 3/4 of their paychecks. We are not going to budge off their number. If they happen to come down to us, we'll find another point to argue, because we're not going to pay them their entire salary this year and they're all going to be hurting. Now, I wonder if that's like what's going on here, which is obviously not in good faith at all.
But it's also not unprecedented. To your point.
Exactly right. That's exactly
Brad,
right.
Brilliant. I didn't even think about that.
Major League Baseball has a number and they're not going to cut a deal until they reach it.
Dude.
And I'm very upset about that. I was like furious when I figured that out. Obviously, it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory. Maybe I need to put my tinfoil hat on. But
no.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going on.
That feels like the most accurate statement I've ever heard.
Because here's the big thing, is like the big sticking point is the competitive balance tax.
Yes.
AKA the salary cap. Right?
It's not a salary cap, Brad. Don't call it that.
A salary cap by any other name is still a salary cap. But anyway.
That should be written like, that sounds like Abe Lincoln said that or something. Should be
a salary cap by any other name is still a salary cap, nonetheless, regardless of the title or the tag in which it holds, sir. But,
exactly. Okay.
But so the players have come down. The players have come down off their number. They brought it down. Major League Baseball went up $1 million. One. After the players have come down several.
Yeah. That's right.
They're playing a game and it's nefarious, Brig.
And they're winning.
Well, not in the public opinion.
No, but they're winning on the bottom line dollar amounts.
They are. Yeah.
I mean, they dug a trench and they're staying there.
Yeah, because I think they have a number they want to reach and they're going to hold out until they reach it.
I think you're right. And I think that the fans are the ones losing at the end of the day.
Yes, they are. You want to take us to our next point?
I mean, I guess.
About the fans, Brig.
It's so perfect. I know it was a perfect segue. Here's what is happening, baseball family. A full-page ad came out demanding, is that requesting? I don't know if requesting is strong enough, but how do I say this? I'm going to open the article right now. I'm actually pull it up. MLB fans want a seat at the table. Let me summarize it that way. We have said that a billion times, okay? And we are asking Rob Manfred and everyone else involved to let us have a seat at the table. And what publication was it published in, Brad? Does it say?
It was in a Milwaukee newspaper.
Okay, so it doesn't give the actual which
No.
one. So in a Milwaukee newspaper, there was a full page ad taken out requesting that fans have a vote in the discussions, that we have a voice. And honestly, we need to.
I think so. I mean,
but we said that for a long time.
We have, because legitimately, if fans stop coming to games, you've got a problem on your hands. And if fans stop watching on TV, you've got an even bigger problem on your hands.
That is where all the money is made. For those of you that are new to the show, broadcast revenue is everything. It is the linchpin of the entire economic operation of baseball.
Of 100%. Professional sports in general. 100%.
Correct.
That's all where it comes from. I actually read, so I learned like the gravity of this when I read the Book of Basketball by Bill Simmons, is that he pinpointed the date where NBA players no longer had to have a second job. And it was because the NBA gave live rights to whatever network it was at the time, that the network was willing to pay the NBA X amount of dollars to be able to broadcast all their games live. And at that point, the players like walked in, I think it was during the All-Star game, and they're like, look, we know how much money you're getting. We want our slice of the pie because we're the reason people are going to be watching these live basketball games. Yeah. And then from then on, they were one job, they could hold the single job of being a professional athlete, and it trickled down to every other sport as well.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for live TV rights, these guys would still be holding 2-3 jobs working in the off season. We wouldn't have the product that we do.
Right. And that goes back to, the mill leagues and the mining towns and different things like that. Corporate sponsored baseball, back to like Shoeless Joe.
Yeah.
Honestly. Okay. Let's segue into a couple of more key updates in the negotiations. We've got some things they've settled on, and the rumors that we're getting, the reports we're hearing, are that we've got just one thing left on the table, and it's the tax, the luxury tax, right? That's the only thing that
it's the big one, like arbitration and stuff, Super 2, all that. Like they're like, yeah, we can figure that out pretty easily. But the two sides are so stuck and entrenched where they want to be with the competitive balance tax that that's going to be what causes them to miss games. Is that once they get that, they can be like, okay, let's sort this all out, and then we can go from there.
So let me just go down the list on some things that, as of this week, we know have been either are or are not unified between the Players Association and league. Okay, free agency still not unified. Draft pick compensation for free agency still not unified. Salary arbitration still not unified. Pre-arbitration bonus pool still not unified. Service time still not unified. Luxury tax remains ununified. Amateur draft stuff not unified. Minimum salary still not unified. I mean, this goes on and on and on. Postseason, we still don't have unification on that. It's the Players Association want 12 teams. The league wants 14. The designated hitter rule, unified. Everybody somehow decided that was a good idea.
That was a no-brainer for both sides, honestly.
No, it wasn't,
Brig.
Brad.
Yes,
this is a product. This is a prime example of why the fans need a seat at the table, Brad. Okay, this right here is the central issue in my mind. All right, back off. No, so
there wouldn't be unification among the fans with the universal DH.
Up. Yes, there is.
There's no unification on this screen.
Shut up, Brad. You don't know. You don't even know. Who says you're the authority on why we should have a universal DH when I'm clearly sitting right here and I'm louder than you? So this is how negotiations go, people. You see?
I think that's how it's going right
play
now.
Act. Honestly. Yeah, exactly.
Dramatization and scene.
Bravo. Thank you. That was off the cuff, by the way. Okay, the amateur draft is still not all the way sorted. Uniforms and advertisements. That's something we haven't given a lot of play to. The league has proposed adding uniform and helmet advertising patches. The MLBPA says they will agree to that as long as it fits within the economic proposals that they're trying to push forward. And that's Brad's point. They've got to find ground on this other economic stuff before they'll let this other crap happen, because this is just going to put more money in the club's pockets.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, revenue sharing, not unified. International draft stuff, it's a little squishy on that one. On-field rule changes. I guess the league wants joint committee, including at least 4 active players, to discuss potential on-the-field rule changes, which are still being negotiated.
And do you know the other thing with that is that, so right now the rule is that they have to have an entire year before they can implement a rule. The league wants 4 months.
Yeah, and that's yucky. Really scary. Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. No,
because that's a mid-season change potential.
Yep, for sure.
Super rut-row.
Yeah.
The one thing everybody does agree on, other than a stupid DH, is that the length of the CBA will be 5 years. That they will not have this problem again for 5 more years. So,
but we'll be.
That's what we know. So that's what we know for sure. A couple of other current events, and then we'll take a break. The Mets hire Elizabeth Benn as the director of baseball operations. More women in baseball. Very excited about that. And Derek Jeter steps down as the Marlins CEO. This seems to have come as a bit of a surprise to the organization, a definite surprise to the fan base and everybody else involved in just simply watching baseball. I think it's probably a good thing. The statement he made said that the direction that the organization is going is not kind of what he signed up for. Paraphrasing here, but that's basically what he said. And it was like, rut-row, trouble in paradise, but we'll see what happens. Brad, do you want to comment on any of that before we take a break?
Well, the Jeter one was caught me by surprise today. I was like, whoa, for reals? Yeah. And they were talking about it when I was listening to Dan Patrick while I was driving around this morning, and they're like, from what they said, it sounded like it was quote unquote mutual. Yeah. That it was almost like he walked in and they're like, we are going to go in a different direction. He's like, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today too. That I'm going to go in a different direction, like turn around and pack up my office, and that's the direction I'm going to go. So
that's how it feels. Feels like, whoa, okay. So anyway, it will be interesting to see what happens to Jeter now that he's had a taste in that front office culture and at the back end operations side. I would like to see more from him. I just don't know in what capacity that will be. Maybe he manages.
I don't know if he'll manage.
I don't know either.
I wonder if he'll take more of a GM, like take a GM role somewhere. Because as a CEO, he was like all encompassing, right? He was taking care of a lot of stuff. I wonder if he wants to not wear so many hats and just be a GM.
I can see that. I can see that. One of the things that Jeter did do really well, other than the 2020 run that they had all the way, was the NLDS, I think, as far as they got. But he's also been one of the leading baseball operations personnel, I guess, blanketly we'll call him that, that has been kind of pushing or behind the women in baseball movement. So that's super awesome. We love that about Derek Jeter. Okay, baseball family, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And we come back, we are going to talk about the spring training hats that they have released and how we feel about them.
Before we go to break, let's talk about this real quick, Brig. We have something new to offer our listeners, all of them, every single one of you guys. And Brig, that was a perfect segue. I'll be honest with you. I loved it so much.
Yes.
But we have launched a Patreon for all of our listeners. This is the easiest way for all of you to support the podcast. Brig, what's a cup of coffee cost these days?
Like $3, $3.50, depending on where you get it and how bougie you are, like I am.
Well, there you go. So if you're like Brig and you like $5 coffee, for one cup of coffee a month, you can support the podcast with our Patreon. We're offering all kinds of perks for you guys: hats, t-shirts, so much fun stuff. There's different tiers for you. You can go over to hit the link in our link tree and go check it out. In addition to that, our favorite thing that we're bringing you right now is called the Bullpen Cut. of the
Can I tell them what
podcast.
that is?
Do it, Brig.
Baseball family, we have long heard from you. Like, we have people that are saying, well, what does it look like behind the scenes? And how do you guys actually talk to each other? And, what happens that brings all this about? And we are going to show you now. We are going to have an unedited, uncensored, not necessarily family-friendly version of the podcast available to you who want that. We have made it exceptionally clear that this is a family-friendly show. We want you to be able to listen to it with your kids. We want our kids to be able to listen to it as well. That is one of the things that we made very clear from the beginning. But that is not always how this thing gets built. And we sometimes use adult language from time to time. And we have some of our people who've asked for not just that, but other parts of what goes into, making this possible, to include production meetings and how, the decisions we make and the jokes we tell about each other behind your back. All of the things. And you'll now have access to that with Patreon, with a full unedited version of the podcast that we are, like Brad said, calling the Bullpen Cut.
So we have a link down in the description of every episode. We changed over to Linktree just to streamline everything for you. Head over to Linktree, click the Patreon link at the very top, and then find out how you can support us that way. We'll be right back.
No matter which ballpark you're at, you want to rep your team. Now you can with 9+ Us. Welcome to the Big City Series. With every design available in your team's colors, you can fit in with the home crowd or stand out on the road. Either way, we have the colors you crave. Shop the Big City Series and find designs that rep your favorite baseball podcast, cheer from the cheap seats, and much more. Shop the Big City Series only at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. So this last week we had spring training hats come out, despite there not being any spring training games. And so we thought that it would be a good idea now to go through and talk about these hats that were dropped. But real quick, before we get into that, you're going to notice that our hats are a little bit funky if you're watching on YouTube. I have a little bit of a stingray going on. Brig is going with the shark fin. We decided
shark fin.
My hat popped open last segment. I had it on backwards. For those of you watching, you might have seen it. You might have heard on the audio me say something. But we decided that until baseball starts, we're going rally caps every week. So if you want to see the rally caps, hop on YouTube. You can see it. For those of you who just listen, it's theater of the mind. But anyway, so let's get into these. Let's get into these spring training hats, Brig. So you have some indignation you want to share before we get started on this. Then I have a couple of thoughts that I'd like to share before we actually get into the hats themselves.
Thank you, sir. I want to express how ludicrous it is, the audacity of both Major League Baseball and New Era, that they are going to try and sell us hats, brand new hats, when they are unwilling to provide us with baseball games. I know this has gotten really negative, this show, and I apologize for that. But, oh my gosh, who do these people think they are? And on top of that, most of them are absolute trash.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Not all of them, but most of them are utter wastes of life. And I am just really upset at the entire thing. Ooh. Okay, thank you.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. It's one of those things where it's like, sir, explain to me where indeed you got the audacity to try to sell us these hats. Not only because there's no baseball, like you said, but also they're not good. Like,
they're not good.
I, for one, am not a big fan of trucker hats. I don't have hair on top. So a hat is as much functionality as it is a fashion statement. Yeah. And for me to wear something mesh completely defeats the purpose. So,
see, and I love trucker hats. I will disagree with you. I think that is probably the one decision I loved about this. And of course, they're all going with, I mean, you can get them in the tall crown, my preference, or you can get them in the sloping short crown.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people love. And there's probably a dad cap version in there somewhere. This is the hybrid between like the dad cap unstructured crown versus the sloping low crown. It looks like they don't. It looks like they only have the
I think they just have the low profile and the high crown.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into this.
Anyway,
so share with me your first of your 3 bad, because we're going to do 3 bad, 3 good. What's your first bad in no particular order?
St. Louis Cardinals.
Mine as well.
No, seriously. Look,
Yeah.
baseball family. This is the red cardinal bird on a red hat with red mesh and red squatchy and red eyelets, and red is everywhere. That alone is a little bit absurd, but the cardinal is literally turned backward, looking over its shoulder with a coy like
It's
neener,
mooning
neener,
you. It's what it's
moon
doing.
you.
It's mooning
neener,
you.
neener. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And
Whose idea was this?
I don't know. I have much less of a problem with all the red, because like sometimes a red logo can look good, but like there's not enough black outlining the bird for it to make the logo stand out.
No.
But the logo they chose to use is weird. That's a really weird logo. I don't even know where that comes from.
It looks like a third grade clip art version.
Yes, it does. That's exactly what it looks like.
So bad, baseball family.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put a link.
The link will be down in the description.
Something.
Absolutely, because you have to see this.
Okay, you go. What's your next one?
Okay, my next one is the Giants.
Oh yeah.
That G, they're really pushing hard because that was the G on their City Series this year.
City Connect, yeah.
Yeah, and like I have less of a problem with the all black hat, like black squatchy, eyelets, mesh, everything. The big problem I have is that they felt like they had to put the San Francisco Giants logo down in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yes, they're like, nobody knows what this is. Let's help you because we know how stupid we are.
I don't know what that's about, because I saw it. I was like, wait, did they put that on all the hats? No,
just that
just
one.
the Giants, just the Giants hat. And that's so weird. No reason for it. Absolutely no reason for it. It's unnecessary, redundant, and repetitive.
I hate it so much. Okay. All right. My next one is the D-backs hat, which
yes.
Now, granted, the Sedona red is wonderful. I love that sort of muted Sedona red, but then it has that D snake logo, the swoopy snake D thing, and it's just dumb. I mean, it's always been dumb, but it's dumb because the hat is a matte, flat, matted wool color. And then the logo itself is done in a metallic stitch. It's a shiny semi-gloss or whatever we're calling the stitch. And at least the contrast isn't terrible, but the logo I think is just bad, especially when it's monochrome.
That is by far my least favorite Diamondbacks logo, like 100%. If you're gonna do a snake, do the head on the snake head, because that's one of the best logos in baseball right now, and you got to use it.
And that's what I think. That's why I'm so mad about this. It's probably not as bad as I'm making it sound, but because of the potential, because of Arizona's brilliant logos in the past, this probably made me mad by association.
It might have. Well, and like right now, so we're about to start Wilson's coach pitch season, and our uniforms, our jerseys are supplied by the Diamondbacks, and it's the A, right? And it looks awesome. It's great. Yeah. And I'm glad they did that instead of that D, because that's terrible. Yeah, absolutely terrible.
All right, you go.
All right, my next one is the Royals. Now I like royal blue. Yeah. I actually love the Royals logo. They did the one with the crown on top, but it's all blue and white. Like, it's boring. And the picture that I'm looking at, it looks like just a decal that was put on the front of the hat. Yeah. It doesn't even look like it's stitched. It looks very, very cheap and just not good. Like, that is not a hat that I would ever buy. Not in 1,000 years.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Do I have one more, or is that it?
You should have one more.
Okay, I thought so. I got to go with Cleveland on this one.
Yes.
The Cleveland Guardians, for those of you who have not been paying attention.
Or may have forgotten. I forget sometimes, I'll be honest
Sometimes
with
you. I do too. It is the same font as the G they're trying to push in San Francisco, but it's blue and missing a tail. That's it. That's the only difference. And it's muted and it's set back inside and it's barely visible. And I think it's terrible. Their other block C that they were using for a while, they're trying to figure themselves out, going through an identity crisis they were having, is solid. the little college, it's that university
Oh,
font.
yeah.
It's
like
it's
the
not
Stanford
bad.
S.
Yeah, but this is terrible. This is for me. Some people probably like it. Me,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. And that's like you said, that's just like their regular C that they're using now, and it has like a little curve on the back of the C, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's
they're like, well,
concave.
it just needs like a little bit more, but it's like, let's put a little bit of a curve. No,
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
It looks like caveman writing is what it looks like. Or something.
It kind of does.
Right? Like, doesn't it look like it belongs in a Flintstone episode or something?
Yeah, it does. You're right. It does.
I don't know.
Yep, for sure. But let us know what you think about these hats, baseball family. Like, which are some of your least favorite ones? Because some of them are just downright ugly.
Do you
All right,
want
let's
to
go
talk
ahead.
about which ones you like?
I do, because I want to
Me
end on a
too.
positive note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start.
Please.
So, for somebody who went to a school like from our alma mater, Brig, like one of the colors is green.
Yeah.
They used to be green and yellow, and I should like it, but I don't. However, that being said, this Ace hat looks good.
It does look good.
It looks really good. It's that lighter Kelly green, right?
Shamrock
it's all green.
Yeah.
Shamrock. There you go. With green squatchy, green eyelets, green mesh, everything. And it's a green A with just enough yellow behind it to make it pop and stand out. That you can tell there's some depth to it. Like some of these just look flat on the front, right?
Yep.
But this logo, you can see the depth, and it looks really nice. In the words of Cousin.
Isn't that interesting that we hate some of them for the same reasons we love others?
Yep. It's just
Like
the way it looks.
It is. You could argue the same thing about the Yankees logo, which is terrible, by the way, the Yankees hat. It's awful.
That logo, like the way they do that, though, it doesn't look good with the... You can't do that. I'm sorry.
You can't. I'm so sorry. I would love to buy one, but I shan't, baseball family. Okay, my first pick for one of the hats that I like is Seattle, actually. I love
Brig, I wanted to do that last.
Oh, sorry, Brad.
That's all right. It's fine. We can do it now.
It's that good.
It is. It's awesome.
They finally got it right.
They're headed in the right direction. I'll give them that. But yeah, this one is awesome.
It's super clean. I love the teal, and it's balanced with the white, literally balanced. Every part that has on the compass rose that has a teal has a counterbalanced white. It's fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. And one of the things I think is really cool about it is that this is feels like a little bit of an homage to a hat from a few years ago. And I think it was Lids. It was a Lids exclusive, I think, where they called it like the fluorescent series, where it looked like fluorescent lights. And that's kind of what this looks like, because the baseball does not have the white background to it like it normally would. It is transparent. And instead of having red stitching, it has teal stitching, and it looks awesome. It stands out really, really bold against the navy blue.
I agree with you. So you get an honorable mention or pick another one or something.
Well, I got one more.
Well, yeah, I have two more.
Well, this is like what happened with the bad, but I'll go into my next one.
Please do.
My next, because there's two of us, Brig. That's how this works, remember?
I guess you're right. I always forget that. I seem to forget the order of operations.
So my next one, I really, really like the way the Blue Jays hat looks.
Ooh, see, I disagree. Go ahead, tell me.
Okay, all right. So it's really clean. Like I said, I love royal blue. I don't know what it is, but despite being a flat logo, the way that the white is used to accent it, and with the white maple leaf on the back, like where it's normally red, actually looks really good. I think it's a really clean look. I think that they probably could have taken away some of those lines so it's not quite so like shaded and busy. Because like a couple years ago, they redid the Detroit Lions logo and did that to it, and it looks a lot better. I think if they did that to this, it would look better. But I think it's a good starting point and better than a lot of what I saw.
So the reason, everything you said about why you like it is the reasons I like it. No. I need the red with the Blue Jays. I don't know why. I just need a smattering of it. So if you had done the squatchy and the eyelets in red, it probably would have rounded it out for me.
Oh, and they didn't do that with any of them.
I know.
They're all solid colors. And yeah, red squatchy eyelets would have been outstanding.
I think so.
It would have been the perfect two-tone.
Yeah. So I that's how I'd have changed that one. So for me, it falls off the cliff because it doesn't have my idea. So the end. But
because I can do it better.
I suppose it's my turn.
Yes.
Since that's how this works, Brad will remind me. I've got speaking of Miami, this and a simple two-tone. The way they've done the Marlin here is just bold and simple and unpretentious, and it's wonderful. It's a black hat. It's got the neon blue, coral blue stitching, and it's or electric blue rather, and it's fabulous. That's it.
Yeah, that would be my honorable mention if I had done one.
It's awesome. It's
it looks great.
So clean.
I love that blue color.
I do too.
It's really good. Awesome. All right. Well, let us know what you think about these baseball family drop in the mailbag, and because we want to have a conversation about this. But we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to give you our top under 25 outfielders. A lot going on today.
The None Other Sports Podcast is the home of sports talk for everyone. Every other week, you can catch David and Jason as they talk about all things sports, from current events to classic moments and everything in between. You can find the None Other Sports Podcast on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, and more. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.
Welcome back, baseball family. As we teased in the previous segment, we are going to talk about our favorite players under 25. We've each picked 5, and these are specifically outfielders. We did infielders last time, outfielders this time. We'll do pitchers next time. But today we're going to talk about outfielders that we think are hot to trot in that we want to be in long-term relationships with. I say that every time because it makes Brad uncomfortable. And it's all part of the Valentine's Day series. I just can't let that phrase go. So funny to me. All right, Brad, let's get this first one out of the way. Last time when we talked about this, I blew it and tried to put Juan Soto in the infield somehow. So my number one pick for outfielders under 25 that I'm terribly excited about, cannot wait to see where he ends up after this, once he gets to sign somewhere, is Juan Soto.
Yes, he was one of mine as well. And the thing that's crazy, he's only 23. He signed with the Nats until he's 25, and we're already like, he's not going back to Washington. No, we know they're not going to pay him.
Yeah, exactly. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting. So on the Seattle podcast this week, I recorded that with Jewel, my new co-host there. Go check it out if you're a Mariners fan or if you just want to listen to me talk some more. But anyway, Juan Soto actually came up. We were talking about him, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. If Scott Boras walked into your office and you're a GM and you have the money and he says, I want 15 years, $500 million. I can't remember if we talked about this. Would you take that?
We did talk about this, and I don't remember what I said last time, actually.
I don't remember either. That's why I'm asking again.
I think it would depend on the rest of my team's composition, but I would probably do 15. I wouldn't do 13. I wouldn't do less than 15 years for that much money.
Right, because that's $33 million a year as opposed to 13 years is 38, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't. So it would have to be 15. Yeah, for $500 million, it have to be 15.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Same.
100%. I agree with you. Yeah. Which is funny because I'm sure he'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll take 15 years."
Yeah, of course. Well, and the CBA stuff is killing me, so I don't know. That's going to change everything. But
yes, it will definitely.
Who you got next, Brad?
Next, I'm going to go with a guy. This guy, I feel like we always channel our Chris Collinsworth and John Gruden. This guy.
This guy.
He's going to be 24 this year. He's coming off of a torn ACL. in this last season, but I don't think it's going to set him back at all because he's young and he's athletic, and his name is Ronald O'Cooney Jr.
That's who I was going to say.
With the Braves.
Yes.
He's one of the best outfielders in the game outside 100%. Of his age bracket.
Yes.
So he's like I said, he's only going to be 24 this year. And the Braves have a really good thing going. They kind of robbed him a little bit with that really team-friendly deal that they gave him.
Super duper team-friendly.
Big time. Big time.
Ugly.
Yeah, I think they kind of took advantage of him. But I don't know. If I were him, I would be getting a new agent and certainly looking for some compensation for that next time around.
Yep, I agree. I love it. He was on my list as well. Super exciting. I don't think the injury is going to hold him back because he's young. But maybe I just am worried about, will he still loaf? Will the injury encourage him to loaf?
Oh, coach, my knee.
More. Yeah, or is he just gonna step up and will this break give him the opportunity to, go back and realize how good he has it? I don't know.
I think that one incident was enough. The backlash that he got from that
was pretty ugly.
Was enough for him, to never do that again.
And now that he's stepped away, right? He's been forced out because of an injury. I wonder if we're going to see him really, count his blessings and come back.
Yep.
Hard to trot.
I agree.
So
I think you're right.
That would be pretty cool. What?
Hot to trot.
Hot to trot. I know. That's twice now.
Yes.
Okay. My next one, since you stole mine, I'm going to steal yours. This guy is an outfielder. No surprise there. He's left-handed outfielder, actually. Throws left, bats left. He has a career WAR of negative 1.8, as a matter of fact. So don't hold that against him. He is 22. This season will be his age 22 season. He's projected to have some incredible second-year numbers. And it's Jarred Kelenic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That surprises me. The only reason I shouldn't say this. There are several reasons I don't have him on my list, but one of them is because he really struggled at the beginning.
I think he's going to come back and have a pretty good 2022. I think, especially if we have a shortened 2022, which is looking like we're going to have, it's going to serve him better. I don't know if it's because there will be more pressure or less pressure. I don't know how he's going to interpret it, but I think we're going to see a lot of good out of him this, and not just 2022, but I'm looking at him. I mean, he's going to be 22 years old, for crying out loud. The guy has time to grow and mature and become everything we hope he's going to become. So, I just think that as a guy, we're talking about outfielders under 25. This guy is going to be something special. You've been saying it for years, way before anybody else knew what his name was. First round draft pick. It's going to be awesome. It's going to work out.
He is going to be, especially if what we saw from him in September is even like a glimpse into the future with him.
Yeah.
Look out.
Yep.
Look out. So I was going to save this guy for the end, but I feel like I have to kind of justify why I didn't put Kelenic on my list. Part of that was because I didn't feel like I could have more than one Mariner on my list, right?
Ah, okay. Well, good.
This guy has not seen a major league dugout, has never seen a major league clubhouse outside of spring training. Okay.
Whoa.
Yes. Yeah, you heard that right.
I did.
And I am the president of his fan club. I absolutely love this player so much, especially after having watched him live last year during spring training. This guy is Julio Rodriguez.
Oh, I knew it.
Brig, I am infatuated with Julio Rodriguez.
Would you like to be in a long-term relationship with him, Brad?
I would so very much. And the thing that's crazy, this is the thing that's crazy, is that Jewel and I always refer to Julio Rodriguez, Jarred Kelenic, and Kyle Lewis as the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
And part of that is the thing that's crazy is that Julio Rodriguez has the highest ceiling of those three guys. Right? That Kyle Lewis won Rookie of the Year. Jarred Kelenic is like, dude, this guy is something special. But then it's like Julio Rodriguez comes, it's like, I read an article that said that he could be the new face of the league.
The whole league, not just the
The
franchise.
whole league. That he has personality, the skill level, the charisma, all of it to go. That he could be the face of the league at some point.
Wow.
And it's really, really weird as a Mariners fan to be like, man, this guy, because he's number 2 in MLB's prospect pipeline right now.
Yeah.
And it's really weird to be like, but where do they put J-Rod when they call him up? Because you've got Kyle Lewis coming back, you got Jared Kelenic, and you got Mitch Haniger, who played out of his mind last year and is expected to do so again this year. It's like, where do you put him? So it's not a problem the Mariners have ever.
That's true.
So the solution that Jewel and I came up with this weekend, the episode actually dropped today, was platoon Haniger and Kyle Lewis as your DH. Put J-Rod in right, put Kelenic in center because that's his natural position, then kind of rotate those other guys in left. But anyway, though, when he gets called up, because I don't know that they're going to be able to hold him down in the minors for too long this season. Especially if there's adjustments to service time manipulation, look out. I heard his last thing with him. I was listening to a Mariners game on the radio in 2017. It was a spring training game. It was his first at bat, and it was clocked at the first pitch he saw. He smoked to the shortstop as like 108 off the bat. I think is what I heard. First pitch he saw off a big league pitcher.
Wow.
Yeah. So look out.
That's
going to
amazing.
take the league by storm.
That's amazing. I'm excited about that for you.
I'm so excited.
And I am. Because you guys need this. You guys need to get into the playoffs more.
So bad. And the Holy Trinity is going to take them there.
Yeah.
And JP Crawford and Robbie Ray.
Right. That's right. So, all right. So I'm going to go next. I've got a center fielder, right-handed center fielder. This 2022 projected going to be his 24-year-old season. He's had two seasons in the league. They have not been heavy. What you pointing at me? What you pointing at me?
I know who it is.
You do not.
I do. It's my next guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We're gonna overlap again because he played for the White Sox.
Yeah, it's Luis Robert.
It's Luis Robert. I mean, he's great. He's got a gold. He already earned a Gold Glove or won a Gold Glove. Earned one? I don't know. He won number 2 Rookie of the Year voting his first season in the league. That was 2020 shortened season. He played 56 of the 60 games that year. The dude is awesome. And even though he had a 32% strikeout rate last season, I still don't care. He's young. This season will be his number 30, his third season in the league. He's going to be awesome. Watch out.
Well, so you bring up that strikeout number. That's actually down from his rookie year. So he is improving as far as that goes. But no, there was a lot of chatter about how he should have won the Rookie of the Year over Kyle Lewis.
Yep.
And honestly, like as a Mariners fan and the president of the Kyle Lewis fan club, I would have been upset, but I would have understood because he had an outstanding year.
He did.
So yeah, no, Luis Robert, that's another guy to look out for because eventually he's going to, I mean, Tim Anderson is a big personality for that White Sox team, but I could see Luis Robert being the guy who it's like we build around him.
Yeah, but Luis Robert he's getting to get in his reps while Tim Anderson takes all the press, all the hype, all the everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's letting Luis Robert kind of grow and mature quieter, with less attention because Tim Anderson is there.
Yep. It's
awesome.
It's the best thing for him, honestly.
It is.
Yeah,
yep,
it's a great thing for him. That's awesome.
Okay, you go next.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Like a lot. Okay, this is my last guy that I have because we've overlapped. So this guy is probably a little bit of a surprise, but he's going to be 23 this year. He's going to be his 23 season or age 23 season with the Cardinals. That's right, the Cardinals. And he has 2 years in the league. He actually has last year he put up a WAR of 3.2 in his second season.
Okay.
He finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. This is Dylan Carlson.
Mm.
I think, if I remember, I think I had him winning the Rookie of the Year last year. He was my pick at the beginning of the season. I can't remember for sure though. But he has a ton of upside. First off, but he's improved so much, like year over year. His first year was 2020. He played 35 games. He didn't exceed his rookie limits that year. But he hit 200 and he hit 266 this year. And he hit 18 home runs, drove in 65 runs in 149 games. I think he's going to be like one of the next big, like probably the next big thing for the Cardinals. Like he's going to be their next fixture.
That's awesome.
That they do. So,
I like that. I did not see that coming. You're right. I was like, oh, interesting.
Out of left field, if you will.
Oh, Brad.
That just happened.
You dog. That was great. All right, my last one, and then we'll be done. I have one more, right?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, good. All right. I have one more, but I. Okay. All right, baseball family. I'm going to go with a guy who already, this will be his age 25 year going into 2022. I think some of us have forgotten about him because he only played 2 games in 2020. And that was obviously because of the pandemic and he chose to bow out. But he played a full season last year. He won Rookie of the Year in 2019. It's Yordan Alvarez.
That's a solid pick.
I mean,
he's a problem.
He's a problem. And I think we forget about him because of 2020. I mean, he only played those 2 games, but he's not involved in the 2017 issues in Houston. Right. He's young. He's a huge issue for anybody that comes to face him. He's got a 6.9 WAR right now. In 2021 last season, he batted .277, which is down from his Rookie of the Year 313 season. And I think that because he took a year off, right, it's going to level back out. And I'm excited to see what comes. I don't think he's going to stay in Houston forever, though. I think he's going to move away from being a full-time defensive player, an everyday defensive guy, and I think he's going to end up as a DH somewhere in the National League. That's what I think.
Well, so there's a reason he's not on my list, and that is specifically because he spent more time as a DH than he did as an outfielder last year.
That's right. But with the universal DH, it's going to save his bacon, and that's where he's going to end up.
Yeah, he doesn't have to play in the field at all anymore. He could
not
be the
anymore.
Next. I mean,
he doesn't have to be a baseball player.
Forgive me, everyone, for saying this. That an Astro might be the next Edgar Martinez with more power, but he could be. He could be a career DH, and he would be. There would be no problem with it for him anymore.
He might literally be the first career DH since Edgar Martinez.
Yeah, he could. So this last year, it's crazy. He hit 33 home runs and drove in 104 runs.
Yep.
Like, he was the guy as a Mariners fan that I get nervous when a lot of those Astros come out to the plate against the Mariners. Like, Carlos Correa every time, Alex Bregman a lot of the time, Jose Altuve a lot of the time. But this dude, every single time, it's like he's gonna freaking crank it. I just know it.
Yeah, you have to. Your rotation revolves around how often he comes to the plate.
Yeah, it does. It does absolutely. He's a true problem for pitchers, and he's going to continue to be. He's going to only get better, and it's going to be out of control. But
baseball family, tell us what you think. Which outfielders are 25 years or younger that you think are going to be in the league and making serious noise over the next few years? Do they deserve big, long contracts like Juan Soto? Are we going to see others that are going to be DHs for the rest of their career like Yordan Alvarez? We don't know. Do you know? Because if you know, you should tell us so that we know how you feel about it. You can do that by jumping on baseballtogether.com. You can drop us a line. You can follow us on a whole crapload of social media outlets, and we even have voicemail, so you can drop us a line and literally record it. I tested it the other day. It actually works.
Nice.
Yeah.
Actually works 100%. Don't forget to jump on the shop either. We're rocking our rally caps today. I've got my United We fan hat. Brig has his 10th man hat. We both have Baseball Together shirts on. You can find all that stuff at 9plusus.com. Spell it out, NINEPLUS, US.com. Also, don't forget to jump on baseballtogether.com, where we are writing about baseball more often. We're actually doing it now. We've been talking about doing it for a while, but Brig, we're actually doing it now. It's
I
happening.
know, right? I think you
It's very
actually
exciting.
lost your mind when I wrote an article for Baseball Together the other day.
I had to double check what you had sent me, to be honest.
Baseball family, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Let us know how we're doing, what you want more of, what you like that we do. Don't forget that we love those snide remarks as well. And with that, baseball family, we are excited about Patreon. Don't forget to jump in the link tree. Support us if you'd like to. That would go a long way in making this better. And with that, we will catch you next week.